Hi guys, in today's video let's try to create this awesome sky jump 3D effect in Fusion that works also in Davinci Resolve, so this is pretty cool. I will be going really slowly, so even if you are a beginner, don't worry, you should be able to recreate it on your own. Tap subscribe if you haven't already to not miss out upcoming tutorials, and now let's begin. Okay, so we've got two clips in our timeline. So first, what you need to do is to find a sky image that you're gonna transition between the clips. I just found some random sky image that looks like this. Okay, so once again, this is our beginning clip. Then we're gonna transition through the sky and we're gonna end up with our second clip. First, what you need to do is to make all those clips to be the same length. So I'll make them maybe 5 seconds long. So right click on the clip, change click duration, select 5 seconds and change. Same from this image. Let me drag it like so. And our target clip as well. Okay, so we got all of the clips overlapping and all the clips have the same length. Now what you need to do is select all the clips, right click and choose new Fusion clip. Now place the playhead somewhere around somewhere over the Fusion clip and click Fusion page. That's where the fun begins. Let me close the inspector for the moment. So we got a background node here. If I preview it on the left, it's totally transparent. Got media out, of course. We can delete all the merge nodes. We're not gonna need them. So we got our background connected to media out. We've got our media 3, which is our target, our media 2, which is our sky, and media 1, which is our beginning clip. Okay, we need to work in 3D world, but don't worry, that will be really simple. So with the media 1 clip node selected, choose image plane 3D, like so. Can preview it on the left. As you see, it's 3D already. Now do the same for media 2 and media 3. What you need to do now is to merge all those three image plane 3D nodes with merge 3D. Basically, you can just drag the output of the second plane 3D and drop it just above the output of the image plane 3D 1. That will create for you merge 3D node. And to connect the third image plane 3D node, just drag the output to the merge 3D node. Hope that makes sense. And now if you preview merge 3D on the left by tapping 1 on the keyboard, you can see that we got three image plane 3D in our 3D scene, but they are at the same position, so they are not visible. Let's leave it like that and let's add renderer 3D. So you need to have your merge 3D node selected and click renderer 3D. Okay, like so. And let me preview it on the right. Now what you need to do is to add a camera to our scene. So again, with the merge 3D node selected, choose camera. And the renderer 3D is not rendering anything. Why? Because right now with the camera 3D added to this whole composition, to the whole scene, we need to position our camera so that it points what we want it to be pointed. So basically we need to correct the position of our camera. You can do it in the inspector, or you can do it by dragging this axis. I'll do it with the inspector. So with the camera 3D selected, in the transform tab, you got the Z translation, where you can adjust how far the camera should be. Let me tell you how you can move around here to better see what's going on in your 3D world. If you scroll your mouse up and down, you see the view is basically going up and down. If you wanna turn it around, you hold Shift and Alt and you scroll. If you wanna look at change the angle of your view, you just hold Control and scroll. Oh no, this is zoom in, zoom out, sorry. If you wanna change the angle of your view, you just hold shift and you scroll. So this is how you can move around in the 3D world, in the 3D scene. Okay, so as you see, the camera is too close, so I need to back it off a bit. That's too much. We need to fill in the whole Canva. So I'm gonna tell you that this is 1.655. This is the exact distance the camera should have from your image to fill in the whole Canva. Okay, now go back to the image plane 3D node, and in the inspector under transform in X translation put 1. Now we need to position our sky. We can do it also with the image plane 3D transform tab. So what I'm gonna do, I will put it higher, of course. Yeah, I want to back it off a bit, like so. Even more, or maybe like this. And I will position it in the center, so maybe 0.5. And I want this sky to be above both clips, so I need to change the size of it. And to do that, just click image plane 3D, open selection tool, so shift space, and search for transform 3D node and add. That will add your transform 3D node here. It will automatically connect it between your image plane and the merge. And now in the transform 3D node, you can change the scale. I will uncheck lock X, Y, Z and increase the X and Y. Change the position of it like so. Let me speed it up for you. Okay, it's more or less okay. You don't need to be super precise with that. What we need to do now is to bend this sky so it is not as flat as here, because we can rotate it like so. That will be also fine, but I prefer to bend it. And to do that, you got a node that's called Bender. So again, from your selection tool, choose Bender 3D node and try to bend it with the amount control. Maybe like so, but you need to as well center it so it's nicely above our images, our clips. I hope you got already the idea what's going on here. So right now what we need to do is to animate the camera, right? This is our starting point. And let's say we're gonna start the animation at frame 20. So create keyframes in rotation and translation controls. Then after 10 frames, maybe we're gonna zoom in a bit our camera and we're gonna rotate it like so. Then at frame, I don't know, 55, we're gonna move to the right. Wait a sec. So in here we got what? We got this. So always create all the keyframes, because you never know what you can modify it later, and it helps a lot. So then at frame maybe 55, we go to the right. So let me put 1 here and create keyframes as well for other controls. And from keyframe 55 to maybe 65, I'm gonna rotate back the camera to its default position, and as well create keyframes for others. And in here, let me set my camera to its so it fills the whole image. So this is how we've animated camera. Yeah, in here I rotate too soon, so you can always correct that. If you open spline, you can manipulate how to smooth the animation should go for each of the controls, but as well you can change if you, for instance, the X rotation, as I said, in here it's too fast, too strong. So I check X rotation, I click zoom to fit, and I want this keyframe to move it to the right. So I select this keyframe, hold Shift key and drag it with the mouse. And you see it's the keyframe was moved to the right. So right now we get something like this. Select all the keyframes that you've created, like so, and tap S on the keyboard. That will make it, they will make it more smooth. And right now make sure that when the animation is ongoing, you don't have empty canvas like here. You can easily correct that by changing the values of your keyframes. So for instance here, the camera should be closer, or you should add another keyframe so it's turning like so. So right now we animated our camera so it moves from the clip number 1 through the sky to the clip number 2. Next, we need to take care of this color difference here between the sky. This is our sky image. If I preview it on the left, so with the sky image node selected, open selection tool and search for color corrector. In the color corrector, make sure in the option tab to check pre-divide post multiply, and in the correction tab you need to try to make the difference between the sky image and your second clip less obvious. And we're gonna keyframe it because at the beginning the first clip should work, because that will be nicely smoothed out with the motion blur that we will enable in the render 3D later on. But in here I think the discrepancy is too much. So what you need to do is to keyframe it, start to keyframe it from maybe somewhere here, right click, animate, and also other controls. And let's say you want your sky to be looking more similar to the target clip. So in here you need to make some adjustments. Let me change the hue a bit. We'll decrease the contrast, saturation. So this is before, this is after. That will do as well. So as you see from here, we are changing colors a bit, so it's transitioned nicely to the second clip. Don't worry if there are still some discrepancies. The motion blur effect will do the job. Speaking of which, to activate the motion blur, go to Renderer 3D node and in Settings tab, enable motion blur, set it to 10. But do it at the end of the composition, do it before you're gonna render your animation. Okay, so we are almost done. Okay, as a final touch, let's add another component to our composition, which would be a fake clouds. You can create it very easily using fast noise. So you can drag it from this menu. Let me preview it on the left and adjust the contrast, scale, details, and so on. So basically play with it. We also need to create a 3D object out of our fast noise. So with the fast noise node created and selected, click image plane 3D, which will look like this in 3D world, and simply merge it with the merge 3D. So just drag and drop it over the merge 3D node that will connect it to our 3D composition. Now if I preview all the components by previewing the merge 3D, I can see my fast noise is located here. So basically we need to do the same thing we did with the sky, or more or less the same. We need to add transform 3D node. And right now, let me position it. And let's change the scale. What I'm gonna also do is, let me preview the fast noise node again, and I'm gonna mask it with ellipse. I'll change the ellipse size to something like this, and I will soften the edges. Okay? So this is before the edge is too strong, and this is with the ellipse mask. It's much better. Okay, so let's see the merge 3D again. So we got our sky, our clouds somewhere around here. Let's see how the camera is approaching it. So I think it's better to bring it back closer to the camera. Maybe here, let's see. Yes. And what I'm gonna do as well, I'm gonna increase the seed rate in the fuzz noise so the clouds move a bit. Let me see it. Yes, you see the clouds are animated a bit. And let's see how it looks. Okay, don't worry about this edges here. That will be nicely smoothed out with a blur, motion blur effect. And in here we still see some clouds. So I think we need to keyframe transform. So again, let's preview the Merge 3D with all the components. And let's say as the animation starts somewhere here. So in the transform node, I think I'm gonna animate this Y control, translation control. So at the beginning, I create a first keyframe. Around the frame number 20, I create a second keyframe. And at the beginning, I will set these clouds higher so it's not visible in the frame. Okay, and I will do the same thing somewhere here. I will make the clouds going up. So let's say somewhere here, I will keyframe the Y, and in here it will be somewhere, something like this. So observe the clouds, how it's animated at the beginning. You got them in the frame and then it disappears. You can of course smooth it out just in the spline as any other keyframe animation. So select 2 keyframes or the keyframes you want to smooth out and tap S. Okay, so this is how it looks, the whole composition. So as you see, the clue of this effect is the camera movement. And last but not least, you need to merge the renderer 3D above the background nodes. So let me do it right now. And if you preview your media out, you got your transition ready to go. Before you render your project, don't forget in the renderer 3D to check the motion blur and set the quality to 10, because if not, you will get those edges and the whole animation won't be as smooth as you might want to be. Okay guys, this is it for today. Thanks for watching. Hope you've learned something new today. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Check out also my Ko-fi page. There are some free products ready to use in your projects. Cheers and see you in the next one.